Okay, so today I'm going to be trying some local food in Newcastle. Now I'm not going to reveal what it is just yet, I'm going to wait till I get there. As usual, I'm heading there and back in the same day by a form of transport that's pretty cost effective. So let's head to Newcastle for some local food. Okay, so as you might have guessed, I'm going to be heading there by coach because it's so much cheaper than the train. You're not going to believe how much the difference in price is, which I'll reveal a little bit later on. I think you're going to be shocked. Anyway, so let me tell you my journey times. So my coach leaves at 9:15 and gets into Newcastle at about 12. My bus out of Newcastle is at 3:30, so I don't have much time in the city, but I think it should be enough to get my challenge done. Thank you. And I've made it on the coach. Let's head to Newcastle. And I've arrived in Newcastle. Time now is about 12 p.m. So let me tell you what local food I'll be having in this city. So the food that I'm going to be having is called a peas pudding stottie. Now if you're not from Newcastle or around these parts, you probably have no idea what that is. But what it is a sandwich. So the stottie is the bread, which is like a flat bread that's a little bit chewy, and the peas pudding is something like a hummus made of split peas. So there's a few places that do a peas pudding stottie in Newcastle, but I think I found the place that's supposed to be the best. It's called Big River Bakery, and it was featured on a BBC cookery show. So let's make our way there and try it out. Okay, so I've been walking for about 15-20 minutes and I've ended up in this sort of residential area. This place is a little further out of the city centre than I expected, but apparently it's somewhere around here. Right, I think we're just coming up to it right now. It should be just behind this van. And there it is, Big River Bakery. Let's head in. Okay, so I have my peas pudding stottie. I think I spotted a nice park bench that I can eat it at. So let's make our way there. Right, and here it is, the peas pudding stottie. Check that out. So the stottie is the bread, which is like a flat, chewy, soft bread. This one has got a bit of ham inside, and then you have the peas pudding underneath, which is like a yellow split pea, sort of mash or hummus type spread. And the person at the cafe told me that this is delicious. So let's give it a try and see if it is. Okay, so straight away you get the chew from the bread, and it's got like a nice crust on the outside as well. That's a little bit harder than the inside. So the inside is soft, fluffy, a little bouncy, but the outside is a little harder and chewy. But that's a delicious bread. You have the ham inside, which is basically just a standard thin sliced ham, slightly salty, a little meaty, perfect. And then you have the peas pudding. So you can see it there, the texture really thick, kind of like a mashed potato, and it actually really reminds me of a mushy peas. The flavour is similar too, but it's just a yellowy colour. It's kind of like a yellow mushy peas. It's got a nice pea flavour, a little salty too, and it combines well with the meaty ham and the chewy bread. Okay, yeah, the more I eat this, the more it does remind me of a mushy peas, but slightly milder. I guess it is going to be similar because it is still made out of, I think, a yellow split pea. But this is really good, better than I expected. And I think the bread really makes it. I think if you had any other type of bread with the sandwich, it wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't have that crust on the outside to give you that chew. So when I went in, I initially asked for a full stottie, and the person did look at me a little bit strange, because a full stottie is actually really big. I think it's over 30 centimeters in diameter. I only got a quarter, and it's a pretty big sandwich. So a full stottie with peas pudding is probably going to last you for the whole day. Okay, so as I'm on to my last few bites, I think if you come to Newcastle and surrounding area, this is definitely a sandwich that you need to try. It's different to any other sandwich that I've had before. You have the combination of the chewy bread, chewy crust, soft inside, the mushy peas pudding, and then the ham as well, adding that salty meaty bite. What a great sandwich that was. I can definitely see why the Big River Bakery was featured in a BBC cooking show, because some of the other items there looked amazing. In fact, I think if I was to ever come again, I'd probably try out some of the other items as well. Right, so time now is about 20 to 2. My coach out of Newcastle is at 3:30, so I've got just under 2 hours before I need to leave. And if you're ever in Newcastle, there's one thing you have to see. So let's go see it. And here it is, the Tyne Bridge, built close to 100 years ago. It's probably the most famous structure in Newcastle, although the best view of it is probably not from when you're walking across, but from down below. I think walking down below and beside it is where you get the best view. I mean, check that out, with the sun shining on it, lighting it up. Looks pretty incredible. If you ever visit Newcastle, there's one thing you need to be aware about, and that's hills and stairs. Because where I was at a second ago, the Tyne Bridge, that was river level. If you want to get anywhere else, you have to walk up big hills and stairs like this one. Check it out, it's Newcastle Castle. Right, time now is about 3 p.m. So let's start heading back to the coach station, and once we're back in Leeds, I'll give you a rundown of the costs I've spent today. Coaches this way, and we're back at the coach station. It's not much of a coach station here in Newcastle. You would have thought a big city like this would have a pretty big National Express coach station, but it doesn't. It's just these few stands. Hiya.
So, thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
You're welcome.
And I'm on board. Let's head back to Leeds. And I've made it back to Leeds. Time now is about 6:30. Let me give you a breakdown of the costs I've spent today. So the cost of the ham peas pudding stottie was £3, which I think is a decent price. I mean, it was a good size sandwich, so decent value. Now the return of the coach ticket, now that's where the real saving was. So to put that in context, let me give you the price of the return train journey. It would have cost £65 to go from Leeds to Newcastle and back by train, which is really expensive. But the cost of the coach ticket was only £23, so 3 times less. I mean, to be fair, the train is quicker. It's quicker by an hour each way. So instead of taking 2.5 hours by coach, it takes 1.5 by train. But it's 3 times more in price. Is that justifiable? Comment down below. For me, I don't think it is. I mean, unless if you need to be somewhere in a hurry, then you can justify paying the extra costs. But if not, I think paying 3 times less and spending an extra hour on the coach is much better value. Okay, if you like the video, click on the thumbs up icon below and click on subscribe to come along for the next food journey, and I'll see you there.